Yeah, people, this is our first show of the new year. And the Bat Daddy is in the house.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Well, how the way Mr. Trump is sending us, I think that you might have another Good Morning Vietnam, would it be Good Morning Iran.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on, people? We back. S.STREET Media, Black Raspberry Radio. You have just heard The God, Rakim in the Ghetto. That song came out in 1990 on MCA Records, I remember. I think this is a time when Delicious Vinyl went under, or 4th and Broadway went under. I just was speaking to the brothers. I said, I think that Rakim should have been under the Def Jam umbrella, but they was under the Rushtown umbrella. But I think that if he was under Def Jam, it would have popped off. But we just found out that he was very picky. I guess very picky with his beats and those things.
With,
yeah,
like that.
Yeah. So what's going on, Brother B?
Man, we are at war.
Yeah.
All right. This is really scary to me. This is scary to the population of, New York City and America itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just what we need for a brand new decade. A freaking war.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks to Orange Man.
Right.
And his nonsense.
Right.
Okay.
It's crazy how people mention that us being inside this, this conflict that this man just shot off these missiles. He killed a number two. He killed a top official in government, a top official in the government, because you said that y'all have the intel that Boy has been planting bombs and fighting against the United States, training people to fight against us or paying people to fight against us. And it's like, damn, he just finished helping fight ISIS. And I thought that ISIS was the enemy. And we found out that this guy was the enemy. You watched him off the plane from Syria, and he ended up in Iraq, and y'all caught him in Iraq. But see, before I pass it to you, I just want the people to know, at one point, Iraq was governed by Mr. Saddam Hussein, the one who was lynched, who was hung by the people. But Saddam Hussein is a Sunni Muslim, which he would oppress the Shiite Muslims. And him beefing with Iran is Shiite Muslims. And now that Iraq is being held by majority of the Shiite Muslims, so now you got Iran and Iraq, now y'all bosom buddies now, when y'all been at war for thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, now y'all friends, and Iraq has asked the United States, well, y'all can leave. Orange Man said today, or I think it was yesterday, he was like, yo, we put down too much money for that airport, and we ain't going nowhere just yet. Let this be a friendly departure, because if y'all act fool, I'm gonna throw some sanctions on y'all. So it's like, damn, he's being a
he's being a real nut job, if you must say. As you say, if this high-ranking Iranian general was helping take down ISIS and all that stuff, what happened to the old saying, the enemy of my enemy
is my friend?
Why did you drop these bombs, Orange Man, on this freaking general over there who was minding his business and helping deal with an issue that the United States was having with this terrorist sect?
Right, but you know what? I think also, like, the reason why the guy was fighting against them is because they tried to do that. How can I say that Muslim caliphate, whatever how the way you said, the caliphate was supposed to be through Iran, through Syria, through Iraq. Like, you ain't coming through here with that. I know I got beef with him, and they trying to make up some beef with y'all, but y'all not gonna come up in here and declare this strict, extra strict with whipped cream strict Muslim order on this land. So that was the reason why he was beefing with them. But it's like, the playbook is, when election time has happened, you start a war to, I guess, divert the people's attention. But I think today, being that we're so internet friendly with things now that it's not too easy for you just to drop a bomb anywhere on the planet and the rest of the people is not to know, because truthfully, on some sucker sugar honey iced tea, I think that he probably shouldn't have said nothing. He should have just blew him up in the car because the drone hit him. I mean, people are playing PlayStation right now, controlling the drones through a PlayStation control, blowing things up.
Yeah.
Maybe if you wouldn't have said nothing, or maybe if you wouldn't have announced it, it wouldn't be as you know, as it is. Now the Congress is saying, well, you know what? You don't have the right to declare a war, which that's true. The Constitution says that, you know, the president must, you know, let Congress know what you're doing. But I'm sitting as the king, man. I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's just the you know, that's just somewhat the rules of it. B, you had sent me something. Let's get off one of my favorite presidents, Mr. Trump. And people always ask me, why do you like Trump? I always throw the Mike Tyson thing, but let's get off of that.
Yeah.
Surviving R. Kelly, Part 2.
Oh boy.
I didn't get a chance to read to get up on it just yet, which I know I'm gonna demand it.
Yeah, you can easily.
And I see that it's more people, more women done came out. And the thing that gets me with the R. Kelly thing, not that it happened, I'm looking at the statute. I thought that the statute of limitation on crimes was 7 years, from bank robbery to rape to this to that. Only murder. Murder is the only one that does not have a statutory statutory limit to it. But all of a sudden, I'm seeing that.
Maybe it's because of the state they're in. You know how different states have different laws.
That too.
You dig what I'm saying?
That too.
Being that the state of Illinois might
That's
be,
right. That's right.
You know.
That's right. That can definitely be the
In New York City, it's probably 10 years, but over there,
right,
it might be 15.
That's right. And the feds is mad because I guess you jumping across state lines, jumping. So now you're interstating now. So now you committing a federal crime by jumping the state with your pornography and
yes, and your child pornography.
Pedophilia. It's like pedophilia, and it's crazy because I remember when he was in Florida, they had him. Dead right, but the police ran up in the crib, took the hard drives without a search warrant, and it's a legal search and seizure. So
right, yeah,
it had to get thrown out, and it wasn't able to use it. But it's like, what you was doing at that time, bro, you supposed to have stopped. You get money, you got a whole bunch of women, but you are sick. The money and the fame could not put you through that. You're walking around. They said that you had a duffel bag of child pornography tapes.
Of all his exploits. Underage young ladies.
Like,
this is, just really disgusting. I mean, these girls are 14, 15 years old, it's just horrible. I couldn't even, to this day, like now, I know I had probably played the song last week of Touch a Dream, but it's like, I got these R. Kelly songs, and it's like, I can't listen to them. And they some of my favorite R&B, like, he is the R&B. And it's like, I can't sit there and listen to it. Like, I mean, truthfully, I never was a Michael Jackson fan, so I could really care less about that dude there because he was doing the same thing too. You got caught up in the mix of doing the same thing. People accusing you, some kids pointing to your thing saying that it's this color. You's a rich man and you in the bed with a bunch of kids. Like, nah, that's just not supposed to happen. Yeah.
It's sad. Yo, let's jump off of that. E-cigarettes.
Oh boy. We
see that the e-cigarette thing, that the states, I guess the feds, I guess the CDC and all the big municipalities across the nation, whether it's the state or the city, is saying that this is bad for you. And I'm like, well, why y'all ain't say that about crack cocaine, blowing it through a pipe? That you putting a very big stigma on vaping, and I think it's the tobacco lobbyists throwing some bread at some of you politicians saying like, listen, throw them under the bus because it's tapping into our profits.
Sure, everybody who smokes, most people want to quit smoking after a while. So now here comes this great idea, vaping. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, big business such as
Winston-Salem.
Yeah, Newport, Cools,
right.
Marlboros. These companies are going to lose
billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars. So what is it? The ATF, alcohol, tobacco,
and firearm.
Yeah. Okay, these industries govern this. You know what I'm saying? Are all of a sudden going to say that vaping is bad.
Right.
People are dying from vaping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you're getting sick and stuff like that. I've never heard of... They're saying people died or something happened to them, but yet they're not releasing any names. You know who the hell dies from cigarettes.
Yeah. Yes, you do. And I have seen those horrific commercials. They put that in front of you.
Oh, man.
If you smoke like this is what's gonna happen.
The one who coughs up his lungs.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
At the sink. That was a horrible commercial. That should make anybody want to
quit smoking.
But of course, they put additives in these cigarettes to keep you addicted.
Right.
And it's like you can't do without it.
Right. I mean, like sometimes some people need cigarettes to use the bathroom.
Hey.
Some people need cigarettes to calm their nerve down when their boss is getting on their damn nerves.
Sure enough.
Like, let me smoke this cigarette before things get postal.
I need to smoke me, you know what I'm saying, a loose one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before I, go upside my boss's head and lose my job.
Right.
I need this job. So I'm going to go outside and smoke this Newport.
Right. But you know what also? It also brings in mind that we was talking about the Impossible Whopper.
Oh.
And how I was reading somewhere on the internet how even the lobbyists, the beef lobbyists, they was coming at them, and they found out, or they saying that how was that Whopper so impossible and it tastes so good? Is because they're putting that plant-based, patty on side, the same thing that's flipping the so you're getting the beef fat onto
your Impossible Whopper.
And come to find out, somebody was putting in a class action lawsuit on that.
Oh wow!
So, Impossible Whopper, I guess, is not so impossible.
Speaking of burgers, right? I can't remember where I saw this at, but a man found a burger from McDonald's.
That's right, for 2 years, man.
2 years. It was 20 years.
Excuse me, sir. It was 20 years, and he had the receipt because he locked it away. And showed and proved this is the receipt to it. And the only thing that disintegrated on that burger was the pickle. The bread wasn't decomposed, the meat wasn't decomposed.
After 20 years?
I don't want that.
Oh, I will not eat any more McDonald's burgers.
I don't want it no more.
Okay?
I really don't. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want it no more.
I'm not messing around. I'm done with the fast food restaurants. I am going to KFC's though to get that mashed potato bowl.
Yeah, hold on. Let me jump to KFC. I remember when I was staying with this big girl.
Big girls.
Up in Taft, and she made me bigger because I wasn't this fat. About 9'8", 9'9". And I remember she was going, boo, boo, they got the sale over here because this is that. Hold on. This was the KFC on 106 in 2nd Avenue. First Avenue is going up. 2nd Avenue is coming down, so it got to be 1st Avenue by the projects.
Yeah.
And she was like, boo, boo, boo. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring you a breast, some wedges, and some coleslaw. I'm like, no, bring me 2 breasts because ours was on at the time. I'm like, yo, boo, you know how I want it. And make sure you bring me like 3 biscuits.
Right.
And she came to the house with the box. And I'm like, how many breasts did you get me? She's like, boo, I got you 1. I'm screaming like, why did you get me just 1 breast?
Right.
I wanted more breasts.
I want 2.
I opened up the box. You know in the cartoons and things go yoing, 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 yoing?
Yeah.
That breast was like this big.
Whoa.
I hugged her.
Now you hugging them.
I hug them like thanks, boo, because it was extra crispy. But they were saying how they was genetic, like that. That's when I first came across that word GMO, the genetic modified organism, because they said they was test tubing. Growing their chicken through a test tube, that they had to change their name from Kentucky Fried Chicken to KFC. So I've heard.
Okay.
This legend is.
That's the reason for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can agree with giant chicken. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm all right with that. You know, as much chicken as I eat.
Right.
It should be a law against it.
Right. I mean, because I noticed the sticky wings, the chicken wings that's at BBQs, like them wings are big, and the kids get excited.
I would too.
I had brought my kids and my grandkids, and when they brought them sticky wings out there, because I got 2 things of the sticky wings, and they was going crazy.
Hey.
They was happy. I'm like, oh, wow.
I'm about to start drooling now just thinking about this.
You know, but because when we go, you got to make that phone call to Wei Ming. Get 4 chicken wings, French fries, fried hard. Because Hardee's, I don't mean to give y'all a promotional push here, but y'all make some good chicken wings. And I don't understand like how these Asian people making chicken that damn good.
That's some good chicken.
You know,
okay.
You know, despite us being cooked in that rib tip grease that y'all are cooking, no disrespect to the to the nation's gods and earths and the Muslims, but that chicken is good because you know your mama fried some chicken in that lard grease.
Sure enough.
You old school 5% from '82. I want to touch on you know what? This was another thing that you sent me. You sent me Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Did you watch it?
No, it's not out yet. But I did.
It did. It came out Christmas Day.
This new movie. What is it called?
It's called
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah, it's out already.
Yeah. So I guess you catch it on the Fire Stick.
I saw you doggone right. I saw a little advertisement for it, so I thought it was coming out.
Right.
I didn't realize it was out already. So okay, I'll watch it and we can talk about it next week.
Right. All right. Now,
but it looks. Let me tell you, folks. It looks good. Like, this is a serious movie by a comedian known as, Adam Sandler. Everybody knows Adam Sandler.
Waterboy is my favorite.
Waterboy, Little Nicky, Don't mess with the Zohan.
Yeah, I like that, but that was cheesy.
I don't care. Right. It was supposed to be, and that's what made it so damn funny. Okay.
Last night at the Golden Globes, which I didn't watch it. What made me caught my attention was Beyonce. They said that Beyonce didn't stand up for my man Joaquin Phoenix because he won the Oscar for
the Joker.
For the Joker.
Are you serious?
Yes, they did. Not the Oscar, the Golden Globe Awards last night.
He won an award for that.
Yes, he did.
Was it for crappiest actor?
No, for best.
Performance or something? Are you serious? Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah. Sure enough.
My God.
I want to see it because you said that. I mean, is there any killing in this movie?
This movie was pathetic.
Oh no.
I mean, but B, when you say it's pathetic, are you going from a DC comic books perspective of pathetic?
I'm going from the perspective of sitting here watching this movie and nothing's happening really.
Wow.
There was some killing just towards the end. It just seemed like a stupid movie. And everybody's flocking to the steps in the Bronx to do this little dumb joke.
Over there on University.
Yeah.
Because I have a story about that too. I waved at a woman about like 9798 gonna go see my cousin Sha, and she had on some high heel shoes going to church. And it was on a Sunday and she slipped and fell. And I kept walking up the steps. That was my first time walking up the steps.
Wait, she fell down the steps?
She fell down the steps. You know how you try to catch yourself from falling? Yeah. I kept on going because the steps were slippery.
It was ice.
I had to worry about myself that day.
Right, I can dig it. Because you could break your neck.
Yes.
Leg, arm, leg, arm, and head.
A straight 5% of fall. What's the name? But yeah, I mean, and this movie has become the largest R-rated profited movie ever. They only spent $60 million, and the movie done made about like 1.2 worldwide $1 billion.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, did you go and watch the Star Wars?
No, I didn't watch the last trilogy yet. I haven't started watching the last trilogy. I just watched the Solo.
Okay.
Solo story.
Okay.
And that wasn't great at all.
Right.
But it was interesting because it just tells the background story of Han Solo and where the heck he came from.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? How he got the ship, the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
And
how did he meet Chewbacca?
They threw him. He got captured.
Okay.
On one of those planets,
and became best friends with a gorilla.
Into the dungeon with this creature, and the creature turned out to be Chewbacca.
Okay.
And just out of freaking thin air, Han Solo can speak this creature's language. Making all that fucking all that noise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
It was something that was on my mind. We done covered Orange Man. You know what? I want to know why. And this is a conversation we always have. Why you don't like baseball?
I'm not too big into sports. I wasn't any good at it.
Right. But you could play handball.
Yeah, I mean, handball.
And that's a sport.
Handball was a different caliber of sport. You know what I'm saying?
In the realm of tennis.
Well, it's in the realm of tennis being played on that, a similar type of court, but you got that wall.
Right.
And you're just basically smacking, that ball up against the wall and keeping it within the bounds of the lines and everything like that. And, it was just a sport for calibration of your mind.
Right.
Coordination, eye-hand coordination.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It helped you build up speed in your legs because you got to do a lot of cutting and fast dashing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, say, basketball where guys have to pretty much do the same thing. You get that ball, you might have to dash, to score a basket. But with handball, it's just a lot sharper, a lot, quick movements.
And I still gets busy for a fat guy that I can still come on that court. I'm better at a 2-man than a 1-man.
Okay.
I can hold my corner. I can hold my side.
Okay.
Shout outs to Will, one of our friends. He's a grandmaster at handball. And I remember this blood got out of jail. The dude was like 6'1", 6'2". And the blood dude was like, yo, this how I eat my food, man. I done survived off playing handball for 15 years. He's like, I ain't worried about nobody sending me no packages. This is what I do. And he plays Will. He's beating Will maybe 7-15. Why Will said volume up. The blood nigga was like, what you mean by that? He said, you're going to see. Next thing you know, Will was saying point game. And the blood dude's like, yo, you nice. I have never had nobody beat me like this. And I've been up north for 15 years. And this is how the way I ate my food, You know what, B? One of the other things that you sent me, what's been going on, hate crimes.
Hate crimes.
And we see that our fellow human beings, the Jews, our people, our fellow human beings on Crown Heights and Williamsburg and, other places. I
think Borough Park.
Borough Park has are getting terrorized. And what is the label of a hate crime? All right, I walk across the street and I punch you in your head. Is that considered a hate crime? Or when I punch you in your head and I verbally say something and use a racial slur or ethnic slur, that's what makes it a hate crime? Because let's just say that if you're fighting against someone that's gay and you say you faggot, or you use that word in describing the person, and it's considered a hate crime. Well, all right, I get into a fight with a gay guy and I call you a nigger, that's not a hate crime.
Right. Like, what's up with that? Okay? Like, everything, I don't feel like everything is a dang on hate crime, especially when it comes down to these Hasidic Jews or whatever not.
Right.
Everything is not a hate crime. When some black kids and Hispanic kids maybe, go and smack the yarmulke off the head of some other, Jewish individual. And this is just mischief on the part of children.
Right.
This is not hate crime.
Right.
This is just kids doing kid stuff. You know, I don't see it as a hate crime, and I'm not, you know, speaking out negatively or anything against the Jewish people or nothing like that. I understand how you might feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But everything's not a hate crime.
Right.
Okay.
Like I think the other week, some guy jumps out his car, runs inside one of the buildings, and starts stabbing up a bunch of people or whatever like that. And you know, and it happened right after the Israelite guys or the former Israelite dude went over there into New Jersey and shot up into that store. And it's like, that's a hate crime. That's a hate crime. That's a hate crime. But what's the difference between, like, if a cop was to see me put a swastika up to me putting the word nigger up? Are you just going to charge me with vandalism?
Right.
Or you're charging me with hate speech?
Right.
Which I don't know if you could really say hate speech, but it's like, what is the charge between me spray painting nigger and somebody putting up a swastika?
Right.
You know,
a lot of people putting up these swastikas, these kids, maybe these youngsters, they don't even know really what it is.
That's right. And that sign came from India, something like that, right? The Hindus or something like that.
Truthfully, on sight, it looks like an X.
Right.
Okay, so you know what I'm saying? Maybe they just think they're putting a fancy X or something like that.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? I just don't think that everything is done in the mode of we hate you Jews.
Right.
You know, it's just too much.
Well, you know, it's crazy because, jumping back over there to the orange guy, I see that Israel said that, yes, let's go. We want a war with Iran. We want to. We begging for this war. You know, it's like, wow, like everybody could get pulled in, like that crappy thing that happened in 1901, 19-something. Even as far when the Vietnam War had started, I think it was somebody from France that got killed and the United States want to jump in. It's like, wow, what if a lot of other people jump in? And it's like, what if Russia want to jump in?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not that you backing down from Russia. What about the planet? Y'all thinking of, you know what I'm saying? Y'all not thinking about the planet. That even if you launch one of those nukes and one still get hit in the air, what's going to happen to the air?
They don't care. They have a contingency plan for the president to be, saved or whatever have you.
And the rich.
The
Jay-Z's and Beyonce's.
The one's even bigger than that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're not even going to, do that to our, king and queens of hip hop and R&B's and stuff. But your Bill Gates and people like that, people with billions of dollars.
Right.
They have an escape plan, so they'll be starting life over again on the moon or on Mars some damn where.
Right.
In a space station, a colony, some doggone where that they're building up there in space. What are they building this for?
Right. That's true. I mean, you know what, man, no. I don't know if it's white man, black man, green man, purple man, but
the orange man.
They know that a meteor is going to hit this planet, and we're going to have to get off this planet. The human species is going to have to leave Earth sooner or later. 100 years, 200 years. 300 years, it's going to happen. Yeah. Where we're going to have to leave the planet. And in order for mankind to exist, mankind is going to have to leave the planet. Because mankind is destroying the planet.
Yeah, which kind of man is destroying the planet?
We know that. We know which man is been diabolical to it and is the absolute truth. But we still on the planet with him. And it's like me finger pointing and say, well, it's your fault. That don't got nothing to do with the core cracking.
Right.
We got to get off this planet. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's horrible. I'm just lost for words. It's very horrible with it, man.
We know that a nuclear launch from any country towards another country will initiate that country to launch.
Yep.
And it's not just one nuclear bomb.
That's right.
It's multiple nuclear bombs.
Yep.
So what will start to happen is everyone will start launching their bombs because that'll be the end.
Yep.
World War III would be the end of existence.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And we'll be looking like Mad Max.
Yeah. If we survive.
And I'm gonna tell you, one of the worst places is New York, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the money capital of the planet, because we see what Bin Laden did, or if Bin Laden did it. But if Bin Laden did it, I'm gonna hit the money system.
Right.
Look how many years it took for the money system to get back right. He didn't care about the money system. You know, apparently this man was living in the caves or whatever. But he didn't care about the money system. But you hit the money system, and you know that's a go.
Yeah.
And it's sad, because you know what? You get those sanctions and everything like that onto those other countries, and it might be a baby that's there that need immunization shots. That when they say sanction, people just thinking it's sanction. It's medicines. It's Tylenol pills. Because I remember when the other dude, the Iranian dude, was the president. When he came here to the United Nations, they said that his whole squad went to Rite Aid, bought all the Tylenol. They don't get that.
They don't get Tylenol where they're from?
In Iran, it's an embargo. It's sanctions. Certain products and certain things you're not able to get,
right,
because of these sanctions being in place.
Okay.
You know, I mean, look at Cuba with its sanctions.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, they still got old cars, 1960, 1959 cars. Like, wow, I've heard that in Cuba it's very smoggy. It's beautiful. It's green. But they said that island has a bunch of smog on it because you using old cars still.
Right.
And it just bugs me out. So you telling me that China didn't go around the embargo? That embargo held that long that no other nation sold y'all cars? But you do have good medicine. You do got guns. You know, I mean, some of the best medicine on the planet, you know, some of the best doctors on the planet comes from, you know, from Cuba. Just a sad situation, man.
The state of affairs of the world is just.
It's. I'm worried about my children, and my child was scared. He was like, "Dad, are we going to go to war?" I said, "There's a possibility that we are going to go to war." He said, "Am I going to go to war?" And I had explained to him. I was like, "Yo, 1975, when the Vietnam War had ended, you know, they had passed some kind of law saying that the draft is no more, but there's still selective service. If you applying for financial aid and you're going to college, you're checking in box for selective service. So if push comes to shove, your ass will be selected and you will be going to war." And it's like, I have a nephew that's there. My family has served the country, whether through a government job or rather through the army. And I have a nephew right now that I'm worried about that might have to get sent over to war. Whether he's in the ROTC program or not, you know what I'm saying? Whether he's in the reserve or not. We reserve you to go your ass over there to war because we need you.
Right.
You know, so Donald Trump, I think that it probably just was the wrong time. You know, but when is the right time? And if you sign up to be a soldier, when you gonna shoot your gun? No different in the street, right, people? Yo, Sean got that gun. Sean, I ain't see you hit off no shots. So you got this big standing army that's not shooting no shots. When you think of it, I mean, you know, I don't want to sound so harsh about it, but how do you have an army of 2 million people and it ain't no war? What's the purpose of the army then?
To defend our land, I guess, from any invading forces.
Right.
So if we're not being invaded, then
why should we go to war? But on the flip side of that coin, the United States is the new and improved Roman Empire.
Oh,
and we see how the Roman Empire spreaded their crap throughout the planet.
Yeah.
You know? And it's crazy how the planet is still under the Roman Greek influence.
Yeah.
Even if you look at a door, you look at the pipings of a door sometimes, you see those things.
Pillars.
Like, those pillars.
Yeah.
You see them.
The design, the Greco-Roman design.
Yes, it's still there in our face.
Yeah.
Even, oh man, it's, some people, you know what, some of you people, y'all don't even look at some of those things.
Yeah, they're not aware.
Think, you know, things like that. But yeah, my son was scared and he said, "Dad, I don't want to go to war." And it's like, baby, I just hope that, you know, the scientists have you up and you know what? Wait a minute. I'm gonna jump on this one. And it's still concerning war. When I look at Alexis, could you tell me such and such? mankind is creating the Terminator
Sure.
because you want to have these computers catch feelings.
Artificial intelligence.
The artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And start building these T-2000 thick Arnold Schwarzenegger robots.
Yeah, they sure are. They're working on it
Liquid
right now.
metal robots from the Terminator.
Yep.
It's
They're working on it right now as we speak. Okay. I saw in the news, which News 12, which services Brooklyn.
right.
They gave a report a number of weeks ago. I was watching how they made like a artificial life form, or was working on an artificial life form. You know, like sort of like an android.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is basically a robot,
Right.
but has basically like human intelligence.
Right.
Can hold a regular conversation with
Right.
you and things of that nature. And it looks like an actual living being.
Right.
You know, if they perfect that, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference almost.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's crazy. You know what? Another thing that I seen that was crazy that was done. They said that a computer can record you, and you could be able, if that person was to die, that you could hit the button and a beam of light will come, and you be having conversation with that person. Remember in Superman when he was speaking to his dad, but his dad Jor-El is dead.
Right,
But
right.
the artificial intelligence is as if it's there now.
Right.
That's what they're trying to create. It's like, yo, y'all really tampering with God.
yeah. You know,
That there's a beginning and there's an end. You know.
hey, I mean, if they can clone a dang on goat or whatever it was,
Right.
back in the 90s,
Yeah.
you know,
And the United States had outlawed that for cloning. Like, you want to clone a human being?
yeah, of course, that was the whole purpose of cloning this damn goat, or sheep or whatever it was. You know, sure, of course, they're probably doing it right now as we speak.
Right.
You know, yeah, we're outlawed. Yeah, to the public, it's outlawed.
Right. That's the truth. Not to government.
Right.
Area 54 type
51.
51.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you think of? You know what? Let's get off there. Let's get back. Let's get on hip hop right quick. Who is your best producer of rap?
My favorite producer of hip hop music, I got to go back to Marley Marl.
Okay.
You know, that Juice Crew era.
Right.
You know, the 80s, and you know, you got your Bismarck, your Big Daddy Kane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your Cool G Rap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Roxanne Shante.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff right there was, you know, Marley Marl production. You know what I'm saying? And I just loved that era and time of music.
Marley Martin, also DJ Premier.
Premier was doing his thing too in the early 90s and throughout the 90s. And,
Yeah.
and stuff with Gangstar.
Right.
And, you know, J. Rue the Damager. And certain other, you know,
Offshoots of
offshoots that he worked with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The group home. And,
Right.
you know, produced some Nas
I
tracks.
think like one of his greatest beats. I mean, New York State of Mind. Premier did that, and I like what he did with Biggie Smalls. Unbelievable, because that's one beat that I haven't heard
anywhere.
a lot anywhere, and I didn't never really hear a lot of rappers like, yo, throw that Unbelievable on, and I'm gonna go freestyle. Other than the Game, heard the Game go to that beat, and he killed it. And I noticed that a lot of rappers can't go to a lot of beats.
Yeah, it's true.
You know.
You know.
You know what song I was listening to? Gangstar, Who's Gonna Take the Weight? And I'm like, oh my goodness, I wished somebody could have, you know, which it's not impossible. You take Biggie Smalls' vocals and blend it in to that beat. How the way Ron G did it. And then for those you youngers that do know who Puff Daddy is, that's who Puff Daddy get his style from Ron G. He was a DJ up from the Polo Grounds up there in Harlem, and he would take R&B vocals and put them to break beats.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Because I remember he did it to Take Six, Spread Love, da da da.
Right.
Doom, da, da, doom, doom, da, doom, doom.
Yeah, get your beatbox on. Boy.
Yeah. You know it was crazy? We was talking about beatboxing, and I remember my cousin had a beatbox contest, and we was in the project hallways. And the dude that he was battling tried to do Dougie Fresh.
Oh boy!
But the Dougie Fresh was not kicking because the bass was kicking in the corner of that hallway, that project hallway, and he destroyed the dude in his project. And I said, I think it's time for us to go. And I was a kid. I was like, I think it's time for us to leave now.
Are we talking about the legendary Psycho D?
Legendary Psycho D. Killed him. Killed the dude in Van Dyke Projects. You know, that's one of the very few times I would walk on that side. But that day there, woo, he killed that dude, you know. I never seen that guy again, ever again in my life.
Because Psycho D killed him.
I know I asked you this before. This was the other week, maybe last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. When was the first time you seen it was Crush Groove, right? But you said that you seen Crush Groove years later or Beat Street years later?
Crush Groove years later.
Crush Groove years later.
Yeah.
Could you tell me why?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because you know at that in that era,
right,
early and mid '80s.
Yeah, that was '85 when it came out.
Right. You know, like we wasn't like not me.
Right.
Others was getting up and going to the movies.
Right.
42nd Street.
Right.
You know, to go see the movies every week or whatever. Not me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a chance to get up and go to the movies all the damn time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With the the coming in of the VCR.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It became more available to see some of these movies.
Right.
So that's how I ended up seeing things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, with Crush Groove, being in the movies, I didn't see it. I just didn't see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's something that I missed out on it for a number of years, but I think I first saw it on tape probably in the early 90s.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I saw all those movies on tape.
If you had your best hip hop movie, what was your best hip hop movie
of the 80s?
Yeah.
Oh shit! It wasn't too many made, so that Beat Street was the one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Beat Street was the one.
What was your favorite part about Beat Street?
Well, the battle scene at the Roxy,
right,
is definitely it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Lee is getting busy.
Right.
Lee is the little brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's getting busy, you know what I'm saying, going up against the Rocksteady crew.
With the Puerto Ricans and the
Going
blue.
up against Crazy Legs and all
That's
of that.
right. That's right.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Also at that time,
did you see that? You didn't get a chance to see that in the movie theater?
No,
okay.
I didn't see Beat Street.
A damn shame, but go ahead.
Yeah. Also at that time, I was an artist.
Right.
And I was doing a lot of graffiti at that time.
Right.
So seeing a lot of those tags and stuff, and that was real.
Right.
Real life. That's what, if you see Beat Street people, that's actual footage.
That's right.
Of what, New York City looked like.
That's right.
Those trains with that spray paint on it.
That's right.
Those trains were in circulation.
And you wanted a white train.
Yeah. A white train.
And I have seen all white trains pulled out, and I've seen some art in my life.
If it pulls out from the Bronx and heads to Brooklyn, it never returns to the Bronx the same way.
Right.
Okay? It's going to have some tags on it because an all-white train is the equivalent of a white freaking page.
That's right.
Okay?
That's
it's the
right.
equivalent of a white page. So by the time it gets back, it's got markers, it's got spray paint.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's got a lot of different tags on it and colors.
Right.
And being a graffiti artist at the time, you know what I'm saying, and seeing, those tags and stuff like that was just marvelous, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna tell you the one thing that's educational about that, it took me years later to recognize that was Kool Herc.
Oh yeah.
That was Kool Herc.
The father of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that I will hope, because I had heard legend has said that Russell Simmons was still giving like Grandmaster Caz and the money. He would just give him money to take, throw him some money, things like that. Because without them,
there would be no hip hop.
There's no hip hop, and
Right.
it wouldn't have been nobody for DJ Run to go battle in the Bronx, because they said that DJ Run destroyed a lot of MCs, and that's how he got that name given, the son of Curtis Blow.
Son of Curtis Blow, yeah.
Even Curtis Blow is another one. Like, you would hope that, like I remember one time Suge Knight had said that there should be something given back to them. I remember him saying it. I don't know if he acted out on anything, but it was said like, "Yo, we need to give them something."
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think that we're closer, or if I'm not sure, that the Hip Hop Museum up in the Bronx, where it started at when Kool Herc when Kool Herc did his first
party,
brought
on
out
Sedgwick Avenue.
Yes, Sedgwick Avenue.
I forget the actual address.
Yeah,
1685
yes,
Sedgwick Avenue.
Yes,
something
yes.
like that. Yeah, right on the side of the Major Deegan.
Yes, I'm glad as a child. I'm 46 years old. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad I got that experience of walking to the block party and you hearing those break beats.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you to this day, one of the songs that I actually hate the most is the hip hop, hip it to the hip hip. The rappers alike, I hate that song. Not that I hate them, I think because I heard it so much.
Yeah.
Walking to the block party, do. I was like, oh my goodness, please. I don't want to hear this song. I just want to go home. I'm 6 years old, 1979.
I feel that way.
Please take me home.
I feel that way about Ain't No Stopping Us Now.
Ain't no stopping us now. That's another one.
That's the barbecue song.
Yes. No. Frankie Beverly and Maze. You make me happy. What's that? You make me happy.
Oh, boom, doom, doom.
Oh,
doom,
my
doom.
goodness. My sister Jennifer took me and dragged me to a bunch of parties because my mama said that you better babysit him. And I'm telling you, like, we walked up onto 7 to 8. Everybody was having a damn block party from Brownsville to Crown Heights to Bed-Stuy. Every time I walked up to the block party, that song came on. I say about the 6th or 7th time again, I broke out crying, saying I can't take it no more. Like, please take me home.
I can't take it no more.
I just want to go home. All right, people. In closing, Donald Trump, I think that you done crossed the line where the Iranian nation is going to have to retaliate. And today's war is not fought against nations. Today's wars is fought against individuals.
Right.
How do you kill an individual if the individual is not so much nationalized to a country? Like, okay, Bin Laden is originally from Yemen. You couldn't just blew up Yemen like that. So now it's like you have a lot of Cobra commanders because they just said that somebody broke out in Kenya. Some military people got killed. United States citizens got killed in Kenya.
Okay.
So now we're fighting for the ideology of Islam. Ideology, religion. You're going to have individuals. How you're not going to stop an individual on how the way they think. It's not happening. Not with that. Not with God. And it's crazy how people pray to God and people still kill in the name of God.
Yep.
Whether you Christian, the Crusaders, whether you the Muslims. And in closing, I'm gonna tell you the one thing that gives me the efforts to it, because the Christians ass raped Africa from the west side, and the Muslims raped it from the east side. So it's like I don't have a care for it. You know, I just hope that I don't get bombed up on no damn train here in New York City. But I really don't have a care for it because I'm still mad at it. This is what I wanted to say before we go. Because we get ready to go. How do you feel about people all of a sudden, some rich people, I seen Ludacris and I seen a couple, Cardi B, everybody's getting nationalism back to Africa, going to Ghana, going to Nigeria. And it's like, y'all giving them those citizenships because they popular.
Perhaps.
I'm not leaving. Because I feel like I was sold out. I don't have a belief that the European man through Spain and the British, they just came up there to the shores of Africa and just jacked it like that. Y'all did some kind of barter with some of them kings. I give you a couple of these liquor barrels. You give me those people that you captured in them other tribes. So it's like I just have this dislike of that. And one of the best movies that I seen that touched down on that was Black Panther. When he told them, you sold us out.
Right.
You can't give this stuff to our people And my people died on them ships coming here. I love that part. That was a real. That part was real of it. In closing, B, what you got to say, bro?
Well, big shout out to everybody that watches the show and listens, you know what I'm saying, to the, show on the radio.
Yeah.
And, peace, and we love all of you.
And we love you. Mama, keep sharing it like you do. I'm going to share it like I do. Brother B going to share it like you do. Peace, love, and so shout out to you too, Don Canadians.
Peace.
Peace.